Welcome to the Hangout today. My name is Arttemis Kasane, and I'm here with Donna Kasuska, and today's Hangout is on how to remove invisible toxins from your house and live in your home chemical-free. Now, we have some exciting information for you today. This is going to be a wonderful Hangout to inspire and educate you on how to clean up your home and, more importantly, live a chemical-free lifestyle. There's so many health benefits to living chemical-free. Crystal and I have been teaching through Juicing for Fat Loss and Blending for Beauty, and we've been sharing how to cleanse the body through juicing and blending and whole foods and superfoods and supplements. And now we're going to take it a step further and go into the house and cleaning our home. And I have an amazing guest for you today, one of my good friends, Donna. Before I introduce more of Donna, I want to share a little bit of the outline today and what we're going to talk about. So today, we're going to talk about invisible toxins in the air and how to remove these toxins and get the air clean. We're also going to talk about what's lurking under your kitchen sink and what to clean up and replace. Then we're going to talk about what's in your tap water and the difference between well water and city water and the best filtration technologies for your shower, for your kitchen, to get pure, clean, living water in your body. And then we're also going to share with you more information on part 2. This is a 2-part video training series. Part 1 is going to be a lot of the challenges and opportunities and some solutions. And stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to introduce you some of nature's most powerful solutions for cleaning the air, the carpet, the furniture, and your body. So part 2 will be coming up October 5th. So now I'm so excited to introduce Donna Kasuska. Donna, welcome to the Hangout.
Good morning, Arttemis. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Say that again.
Good morning, Arttemis. Thanks for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Good. The reason I had you say it again is because I had you pinned, and we didn't see your beautiful shining face as you said that. So I unpinned myself, and there you are.
Okay.
And so I met Donna, gosh, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 months ago at a health conference with Dr. Rita Marie Scalzo, who's one of my mentors and dear colleagues and friends. And Donna gave this amazing presentation on stage, and she just knocked my socks off because she had 30 years experience working in chemical factories, and she had so much knowledge about the environment and how to clean up the environment. And she started with her home and herself, and when I saw her, we hit it off immediately, and we started like connecting, and then we started seeing each other at other conferences and events. And so I was like, hey, let's do a hangout and teach our community and our friends and family your knowledge, because it's so rich and it's so wonderful. And so Donna, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you started, how you started Chem Conscious, which is your business and your service to really educate and inform people. And you know, it's really about empowering them to live a chemical-free lifestyle. So tell us about how you started.
Well, okay, Arttemis, it all started 30-some years ago in 1981 when I graduated as a chemical engineer. And I was really, really excited about that, you know, because I had spent 4 years just really working hard, and I couldn't wait till I got out there into the world. And you know how when you drive past those chemical plants and you see all the lights and the towers and the smokestacks, and you know, some people would think that would be terrible, but I used to think that was really cool, and I just couldn't wait to get to be a part of that. And so there I was, you know, 22 years old out there as a chemical engineer working with lots of men in stinky chemical plants. And you actually have a picture of me that you could show of me when I was that age out there in the plant. And
yeah, stand by, and I'll do a quick screen share. Stand by. I'm going to show that picture. It's an awesome photo.
Yep, there I am.
There you are in the hard hat. How old were you here?
I was 22 there.
Yeah, and you were like in your element. You loved it.
I did. But of course, little did I know I was embarking on my journey into toxicity land. And after doing that for 30-some years, I found myself to be rather toxic. But the way I found out is kind of interesting. I had a little boy, and when he was about 4 years old, I was in the back room putting on sunscreen to him because he was going to daycare, and I wanted, of course, for him to be protected from the sun and all of the elements and the things that could have harmed him, and also because in daycare centers they don't let you take them there without putting the sunscreen on them in the first place. So there I was putting it on, and he had skin knees because he was a little athlete, and he was always scraped up, and he was crying and saying, "Mom, don't put that on because it's burning my knees." And so I looked at the bottle and I thought, well, there must be something in there, like maybe alcohol or something that would make him cry. And yes, I did find alcohol, but I found all kinds of other things in there. And what I was the most surprised about, I guess, was that they were chemicals that were in that sunscreen that I had spent my days and my years protecting people from in the chemical plants. Because although I was a chemical engineer in these plants, I mostly worked in the safety department helping people to stay safe from all of the hazards that are in these plants, but mostly from the chemical exposures. So there I was, just rubbing these chemicals on my son's open scraped knees and wondering why he was crying. So what that did is it set me on this new adventure. It took me years to read every label in my house, every label. I would go to grocery stores and just read labels on products that I didn't even use, just because I wanted to get a handle on the enormity of how many chemicals are out there and how many chemicals are going into our bodies from our homes and from the rest of the world, but a large amount of the chemicals are going into our bodies in our own homes. And when I learned the truth, I just went on this quest and I got rid of everything. And I found alternatives for things. I don't, you can see me, I'm in my home. I'm in a normal home. I don't live in a cave in the wilderness or anything, but I do manage to live in a very normal, typical home and be as chemical-free as possible. So that's my story.
One thing that's really rich about what you just shared is that you really invested years studying a lot of products and getting your family cleaner and healthier, getting yourself cleaner and healthier, before you even launched Kim Conscious and before you even started teaching others. You had this, first you had the knowledge professionally in the industry, and then you studied all the products, and then you got your life cleaner and your body cleaner. And can we show that one more picture of you standing? There's one more image that I really love. I'm going to do a quick screen share, and you can talk about this image.
Okay.
So look at the things you do every day, reduce those hazards to get the biggest risk reduction. I love this photo. And so this is a great photo of Donna standing in front of a big chemical plant. This girl is a chemical engineer. Great photo.
Yes, and that photo is pretty much my mantra, my mainstay. Because although I still work with all these clients, I still work in chemical plants every day almost, and I know how to protect myself, I know how to protect the workers, but what I do to protect them and what I teach them is this very thing. I teach them to look at the things that they do every day and reduce the biggest risks, the biggest hazards. Just look at the things that are giving you the most toxicity or the most exposure, and reduce those, and then learn to live with some of the smaller risks instead of, and this is a really good way to look at it as a member of the community also, because I'm going to tell you a lot of things that are in your life right now. I'm going to tell you about a lot of things that you might be doing that is causing exposure in your life, but I don't want you to get upset by that. I don't want you to be afraid of the fact that, I'm going to tell you about these hundreds of chemicals, because, we still have to live in this world. We still have to exist and try to be normal and be like everybody else and affect the change to the rest of the world. And so the best way to look at it is to just take a look at the things that we do every day. The things like do you work in a job where you're exposed to chemicals every day? Do you do you drink water every day? Do you drink certain other foods or drinks every day? What kinds of things? Maybe you're you're a housekeeper, or maybe you're a surfer, or maybe you're a construction worker. There's lots of things. Maybe you fix cars for a living. There's lots of things that you could be doing that are causing exposure. And then we have to look at what you do when you come home every day. And if we just take those things that you do on a regular basis and examine those and find alternatives that would reduce your chemical exposure, then you don't have to worry about the one time that you drove past a chemical plant or the one time you ate in a restaurant that you weren't sure of what you were consuming, because those times, that's a tiny little bit of risk compared to the amount of risk that you have when you do something every day.
That's a great point, Donna. And because you have such extensive knowledge and background, and you and I both have 30 years of experience, and we've been living chemical-free for many, many years. We have lots of people watching today, engaging, so if there's questions, please type them on the event wall right under this video. If you're watching on Google+, you can type them in on the event wall. And then towards the middle of the Hangout, we're going to invite watchers inside the Hangout so you can interact with us directly even after we stop broadcasting. And so if you have key questions that you have yet to be answered, type them on the event wall or join us inside when we post the link. We'll be posting the link in about 15 to 20 minutes for you to join us inside. And so I know we're going to have lots of questions. I know we're going to have lots of questions. And so I'm excited to answer people's questions today and really give them the knowledge and the solutions, because we want to educate them what's the challenge. And really, challenges are opportunities for change. And so there really is no problem with our houses. There's just certain chemical challenges that have opportunities for solutions. And I loved everything you just said, because it's like, cleaning up your home every day is more important than just going out to eat at a restaurant or getting a one-time exposure, let's say like at a water park or something. You really want to make sure your home, which is your sanctuary, is clean. And that's why we're focusing on the air in your home, the water in your home, what's under your sink, the cleaning products you use, because that's the stuff you get encounter with every day. And knowledge is power. And then also, in part 2 of our Hangout, we're going to present even more powerful solutions. And so this is going to be really awesome. So I'll share a little bit of my story now, because I was not always this conscious and this health conscious and healthy. A lot of people, when we do our Hangouts, Chris and I, we teach all over America and the world, and they look at Crystal and I and they go, wow, you guys glow. You're just radiant. Like, how do you get such a beautiful skin and body and so high energy and happy? And I wasn't like this way all the time. I was raised on a standard American diet of Texas biscuits and gravy, Fruity Pebbles with pasteurized, homogenized, glow-in-the-dark milk. I ate soft batch cookies in the microwave. My parents tried to force feed me fried chicken, and I cut that out because I hated fried chicken. And I still ate fast food all the way up until I was about 20 and 21. And all throughout my childhood and adolescence, I had pimples and acne. I had eczema on my hands for years in high school. I was so ashamed of myself because of my skin and the eczema I had on my body. And I was just irritated. I ate crap and I looked like crap. And right around age 21, 15 years ago, 2021, I began studying Chinese medicine, and I was very blessed to start my training early in life, at age 20. And it was really by grace and I think by divine guidance that I entered a clinic of Chinese medicine, and I began studying with an Oriental medical doctor for 2 years. And the doctor I worked with was a very unique OMD in that he was trained by a 6th-generation Chinese doctor. He was a master practitioner of Chinese medicine who moved from China to Dallas, Texas to start a manufacturing company, manufacturing Chinese tonic herbs, the traditional Chinese way in Texas. And so he taught my teacher, and my teacher taught me. And so I had a rich experience learning Chinese tonic herbalism and learning about the 5 elements and pulse and tongue diagnosis and herbalism and how herbs heal the body and restore balance. And in Chinese medicine, their goal was radiant health, and that means health without harm. And so I was learning the ancient principles of Chinese tonic medicine about radiant health, health without harm. Imagine that. Imagine all of us having radiant health and having our homes be radiantly healthy. It's the strongest foundation for our health and well-being for the rest of our lives is healthy body, healthy home. And I started, as I was learning Chinese medicine, I started learning about detoxification because a lot of the patients who came in, there were herbs we used to detoxify their bodies of infection, bacterial, viral, fungal, and parasitic. A lot of people today in our culture are experiencing infection in their body and they don't know it, but they have all these symptoms that the Western doctors don't root to infection. So I started detoxing myself. It's said that we teach best what we most need to learn, and we love to teach what we love to learn. And so as I was in the clinic teaching these people to detox, I was doing everything in a much more hardcore, like passionate, enthusiastic way. I was doing it for me as I was guiding our patients through these cleanses. And so I did a yeast cleanse, a candida cleanse, a fungal cleanse, a heavy metal cleanse. I did about a dozen parasite cleanses. I did colon hydrotherapy. I started cleaning up my body, and my head cleared up, my skin cleared up. I got healthier. I got more vibrant and vital. And this story I'm sharing with you today is the foundation of Juicing for Fat Loss and Blending for Beauty. It's why we built these programs, because it's a culmination of what we learned over 15 years of rebuilding our body from the inside out. And guess what, Donna? As I was rebuilding my body, I started rebuilding my environment, my home, because there was this magic little switch that went on that when I got healthy and clean on the inside, and I did all the cleanses, and I was healthy. My digestion was normal, my skin was radiant, I slept well, I was in balance, and I had well-being. I naturally started looking around my life and getting much more sensitive to toxins in our body products, skincare, Tide, Cheer, deodorants, all the stuff we're going to talk about today. And I cleaned all that up. But I didn't have your knowledge. I just had sensitivity and awareness of my healthy body. And so I started throwing everything out that my body didn't like and replacing it with green solutions. That's what we're going to talk about today. Healthy, the challenges first, and then the solutions. And so, Donna, let's talk about what's in the air, what's under our kitchen sink, what's in our water, and what we can do about it. So what is in the air from a home environment? Because I love that perspective. Like, what are we encountering every day as typical modern consumers of stuff? You know how we love stuff.
Stuff.
So what's in our stuff that may be contaminating the air?
Well, okay, I'm definitely going to get into that. I have a whole list of things that I want to tell you, but first I want you to put up that one last picture because I want to explain the concept of why it took me so long to figure out that the stuff, if it was bad for the people in the plant, why is it bad for us also? And the reason is that in the chemical plant, we are dealing with enormous quantities of things. And so, as you can see, sometimes I go into plants that seem to be a little bit more fun than the kind of plants that I was showing you in the other picture. This is, of course, a tequila storage tank. And there is actually 100,000 gallons of tequila in that tank. I have been asked, when I show this picture from other people, I have been asked if there is a big giant worm in the bottom of that tank, and the only thing I can say is I really hope not. But the point this illustrates is the fact that we have, in the chemical plants, we are exposed to very large quantities, and when we are at home, we are exposed to minute quantities, maybe in the parts per million, maybe not parts per billion, maybe yes, but we're not talking about enormous quantities. The problem is that there's the mentality that it is bad for you in large quantities and that it's not bad for you in small quantities. And that's the thing that we count on, especially when we're talking about, agencies like in the United States, we have the FDA, and they approve things in our products, and they say, well, that yes, it does have this hazardous chemical. There's propylene glycol in there, and that's not hazardous in small quantities, and you're okay. And my point here is that what I realize is that we're not okay, because we might be having a little bit of this substance in one of our cleaning products. And then, you know, we go and then we clean with a different cleaning product the next minute. Or maybe we walk into our house after someone else just cleaned the whole house with 5 different products, and we're getting exposures coming off of our countertops and our floors and in our showers. And then we're compounding that by using personal care products that have those same chemicals in there, that have the same concerns. And so even if that one small usage is not a problem, if you, over time, if you're doing these things every day, you're exposing yourself to these chemicals over and over and over again, and you can get 5, 10, sometimes 20 times the recommended, quote, recommended exposures in a day. And that's what our concern is.
And I want to jump in, Donna, and just say, in my experience as an expert in detoxification, seeing what people can actually contain and what bioaccumulates in the body, there is no safe level of toxins. Toxins are toxic. Toxins are toxic to the body. There is no safe level. It's best to remove them as much as you can.
And I am so glad you brought that up, because that reminded me that you had asked me why I started my business, Chem Conscious, much later than when because my son is now 20, and when he was 4 is when I made this discovery. And so why didn't I jump out in the world and tell everybody about this right then? And the answer was because I was too toxic. I was 50 pounds heavier than I am now, and that's why we met with Dr. Rita Marie, because she is my mentor and she's the one that helped me detoxify my body. And that was the most surprising thing to me, is how much our bodies can store. And then the other issue is that not everybody can very effectively eliminate toxins. You know, we say that our bodies are designed to eliminate the threats and eliminate the toxins. And when our bodies are functioning properly, you know, then they do. That works. But most of us have blocked detoxification pathways. And so even when you try to get this stuff out of your system, it can take years. And that was the case with me. And so, you know, before I got out there and started telling everybody about how to be healthy and how to avoid these exposures, I had to fix my own issues first. And I had to lose that weight and release those toxins, and so that I could effectively explain to other people that it's not as scary as it sounds, and you can come out the other side looking healthier and 10 years younger, and that's what I'm being told by people, that I have de-aged as a result of my detoxification. And I can't tell you how much better I feel, and I had no idea that I could feel this good. So, you know, right now the toxins and the products and the things that I, quote, gave up. Everybody says, how do you give these things up in your life? But I don't give them up. I get rid of them because I don't want them in my life anymore. I don't want that feeling. I don't want to feel so sluggish and so tired and so foggy all the time. I want that fountain of youth that I think this is the answer. I think we have discovered the fountain of youth.
Yeah, you make a good point, because as we clean up our house and our bodies, we start to clean up the brain fog, the irritability, the sleep issues, the nervousness, the headaches, the fatigue, the bloating. Like, a lot of these symptoms that people are experiencing are rooted in toxicity, and we clean up our environment, our home, and it's also can potentially help our bodies more safely clean and let go of toxins that we've accumulated. And so I love this conversation. It's rich and it's really poignant. It's very timely for us to be talking about this right now and empowering our viewers, empowering the people who are watching. And for those of you watching right now, get your pen and paper out, because we're going to go into some really rich content. We're going to talk about what's in the air, what's lurking under our kitchen sinks, what's in the water, and some simple solutions. And then also in part 2, we're going to be sharing some even more powerful solutions, some of our secret scroll solutions to cleaning up the air in the home and body. So what is in our air, Donna? What's floating around in our air?
Okay, so how does our air get polluted? We know, and it's been proven, that indoor air quality in a typical house is 10 to 20 times worse than the poor quality air that you might experience when you're outside, when you're walking through a city and you're experiencing smog or other types of air pollution. You're in an industrial area. Those are all different types of air pollution. They are bad for us, but when we get into our homes, the issue is, especially over the last 20 years, because we had the energy crisis of the 1980s, and we learned at the time to button up our houses, to insulate, to have double and triple pane windows, and to seal all the cracks and keep all the cold air out, or keep all the hot air out if it's summertime. And what we're doing is we are effectively saving energy and reducing our energy needs. But what we're doing also is we're just keeping all those toxins that are being released into our house. We're keeping them inside the house, and we're concentrating them. And that's where we're having more issues now, because we're concentrating them, and because there are more chemicals than there were 20 and 30 years ago. So the biggest place that chemicals come from in our house is from carpet, furniture, cookware, things household items that are typical, things that we think are our everyday items. Like, most people have carpet in their house. I do not have any carpet in my house. I used to have wall-to-wall carpet, and then I realized what comes off of those carpets. There's formaldehyde, there's other types of fire retardants. Fire retardants are serious hormone disruptors. By hormone disruptors, I mean that they interfere with the natural working of our body's hormones. And so a toxic chemical like a phthalate, for example, which is in things like vinyl flooring and furniture, fire retardants and things. And when your body inhales that or absorbs it in some way, it mimics the effect of estrogen and other hormones in our bodies, and so it gets us out of balance, because we become estrogen dominant, and that's why we're seeing a lot of men these days are starting to exhibit more female characteristics in their bodies, and it is because of these hormone disrupting chemicals that are everywhere. They're in plastics, they're in carpets, they're in furniture coverings, they're in fire retardants. So that's the biggest place that stuff comes into your house. And so, I know you're thinking now, oh my goodness, well, how am I going to get that out of my house? Because I can't get rid of all my furniture and all my carpet. And I will admit that it did take me several years before I went ahead and replaced all of my wall-to-wall carpeting with hardwood floors, ceramic tile floors, things that are easy to clean, things that do not absorb toxins and hold them, and things like small throw rugs that can be thrown in the washing machine and washed or aired outside. Things that can be taken out of your house and cleaned is what we're shooting for. And we're going to give you a lot of solutions for cleaning up the air in your house, even if you have these things in there. But for now, I want you to understand exactly where these toxins come from. Okay, another big place that toxins is from our heating systems. Okay, a lot of us have forced air heating systems. We can have natural gas heating systems, oil heating systems. We might have fireplaces, wood stoves. We might have even spares are in our house, and they're of course off-gassing. You're getting the products of combustion that are being filtered through your house. You're also getting, if you have a forced air system where your heat is circulating through your house, you're just picking up those toxins that are in your house and circulating them through the air and making it more likely that you're going to breathe them in. So we have to look seriously at how we're heating our homes, how we're cooling our homes, and what kinds of things could be put in place to fix that. Another big one is dry cleaning brought into the house. Now, some of us, like I don't send my clothes to the dry cleaner. I wear organic cotton clothing most of the time and wash my own clothing. But I know there are a lot of you out there who work in really nice offices. You have a dress code. You have to wear a suit and tie to work every day. You have to wear a nice dress. And these are all fabrics that need to be dry cleaned. And so when you bring your dry cleaning into the house, especially if you have a regular set of clothing that goes out every week, and you bring the clean stuff back in, and I say clean very carefully, clean stuff back in, what you need to do is air that out, okay? If you're not using an organic dry cleaning facility, which there are a lot of them cropping up, and you can find them, but if you're not doing that, then you need to take that plastic off that and hang it out in your garage or hang it out on your front porch or something, and get that ventilated before you bring it into your house and put it in your closet, because the chemicals that are used in dry cleaning are really strong.
And before you put it on your body, because your skin is your permeable membrane, and you're absorbing those toxic dry cleaning chemicals, which are made from kerosene, very, very super toxic.
Yes.
I will add that here in Austin, Texas, we live in a super conscious city. It's one of the most health conscious cities in America. We have 3 organic non-toxic dry cleaners here called EcoClean. And so I'm a public speaker. I've got stuff that's dry clean, and I take it to EcoClean, and it's completely 100% organic, non-toxic dry cleaning. And so, like you said, they are popping up. And if you do dry clean your stuff, you're saying just air it out for a couple of days, and then it'll be fine, right?
Yes, it'll be close to fine. I mean, it'll be still in there, but it will be so much better than it would be if you left the plastic on it until you wore it.
Yeah. So we have a quick question. I'm gonna pull it up right now. The question is, how long do you air out your clothes before you bring them in?
I want to say a day or two, but any amount of airing out that you can do is best.
Yes.
You know, because obviously, you know, if it's outside, if you hang your suit outside for a couple of days, it might not be wearable, and you're going to have to dry clean it again. But I do want to say definitely 24 hours.
And then what do we do about like the carpet and the furniture? Like what's the first thing we can do to get more fresh air in the home if there's anything happening?
Well, what I always say is what we say in the chemical plant. This is my favorite saying. The solution to pollution is dilution. Okay? Dilute the air. So what is the best way to dilute the air in your house is to open up all the windows and let the fresh air in. Okay? Unless you can get a whole house circulating fan. Some people have a whole house fan. A lot of people hate that because it is an energy waster, because you're not buttoning up the house, you're not keeping all the heat inside, but it is definitely healthier to just circulate the air as much as you can, have ceiling fans, have the air moving, and make sure that the air can get out of your house. Because remember, the air outside your house, unless you live next to a trucking company that's blowing exhaust in your windows all the time, unless you're, something else really bad, unless you're doing that, the air outside your house is cleaner than the air in your house, and you should circulate as much as possible. So that's the best way to do that.
Awesome. And what's really amazing is that's a simple solution. Like in the spring and the fall, when it's in the morning and it's cool outside, just open up some windows. And Crystal and I, we actually crack a window in the fall and winter, and we don't break the window. We just open the window. We gently raise the window and leave it open while we sleep, and I notice much better sleep with fresh air coming into my bedroom. Now that's not always practical in the summer or the colder part of the winter, and stay tuned because in part 2 we're going to present a very powerful solution for when it's not comfortable to open your windows. We're going to talk about some really powerful air purification technologies. So one more quick question, Donna, or comment. This comment is from, who's it from?
Crystal.
This comment is from Crystal, and she says it's reassuring to see Donna still lives in a normal and chem-conscious home. We don't have to live in a hippie house to be safe and clean. What do you think about that, Donna?
Well, I think that's entirely true. I do live in a normal house, and
yes,
people don't drive past and say, wow, look at that weird house. It is pretty normal, and I have managed to remove as many of the toxins as possible and still live normal.
And I'll say also, we live in a condominium in a complex of condos that were built in 2011. We have carpet, and we've got all kinds of just normal furniture and stuff in our house. We also have a lot of solutions. We use plants and essential oils, and we have clean products in our kitchen and clean products in our bathroom and shower filters and kitchen filters. And so Crystal and I have remediated a lot of our modern home, and we live in a normal condo, and it's a very standard construction style with some things that off-gas like we talked about, and we've also cleaned it up ourselves. And that's why we're here today. We're teaching you this information so that you feel empowered, informed, and aware, and empowered to make some changes. So what's lurking under our kitchen sink?
Well, there are cleaning products lurking under our kitchen sinks and in our garages and under our bathroom sinks and wherever else we keep our products. Cleaning products are some of the most toxic, harmful chemicals ever. They contain chlorine, which when we talk about the water, we're going to talk about chlorine, but right now a lot of people clean their houses with chlorine. I have had people say, well, what can I possibly disinfect with if I'm not using chlorine? And most people hate to get rid of the chlorine because they feel that smell is, a clean smell. A lot of people associate chlorine with clean, especially like if you wash your whites in Clorox, for example. So anyway, with the chlorine, what is the problem with chlorine is that it affects our thyroids. So, in breathing in chlorine, there aren't FDA limits on it or anything, but when you do breathe it in, your body mistakes it for iodine because your thyroid really needs iodine, and so it's used to sucking up all the iodine it can possibly suck up in its environment. And since we don't eat a lot of foods that contain iodine, I mean, I do, but how many of you out there eat seaweed every day? Arttemis does.
I do. But we also teach that in our programs, how to incorporate powdered green foods, superfoods, and iodine-rich foods. But for most people, they don't eat sea vegetables or get iodine-rich foods in their lifestyle. You're right. I would say probably 95 to 99% of people are deficient in iodine.
And so what happens is when we use chlorine bleach to clean our house, or we swim in chlorinated pools, or we drink chlorinated water, the chlorine mixes with, number one, it gets sucked into your thyroid as mistaking it as iodine, because if you're familiar with the periodic chart, which most people aren't, but if you are, chlorine and iodine are in the same family of chemicals, but chlorine is a whole lot stronger. And so if your thyroid sees some iodine and sees some chlorine, it's going to take the chlorine in preferentially, which could cause thyroid cancer and other types of thyroid problems. But then the other thing that chlorine is it mixes with anything that's organic, and it forms what we call trihalomethanes, THMs. And there are a lot of restrictions, government restrictions on the amount of THMs that are allowed to be in your water, but our bodies are organic, right? Our bodies are organic material, and so if we put the chlorine into our body, it is going to react with something organic in our body, and it's going to create these trihalomethanes in our body, and they are cancer-causing. They're seriously carcinogenic, and we need to eliminate them as much as possible. So that's the issue with chlorine. And so we need to eliminate chlorine from our cleaning products. We need to also just look at the cleaning products and eliminate things that are heavy-duty degreasers and heavy-duty anything, okay? Because here's the problem. Cleaning products do not have to be labeled. So you can pick up any cleaning product in the store and you can have no idea what is in there, okay? But I'll give you a clue. If it says heavy-duty anything, you probably don't want it. If it has a smell of any kind, a fragrance, an artificial fragrance, a petroleum type fragrance, anything that is disturbing or that bothers you, that makes you sneeze, that makes your eyes water, you don't want to be using those because your body is obviously sensitive to them. So cleaning products is another huge thing that is lurking again under our kitchen sinks and throughout our houses. But another one that I really want to talk about is, as I mentioned, fragrances. Candles, fragrances, smelly things that you spray around your house, things that you plug in, those scented oils that you plug into the receptacles, and it sends smelly fragrances around your house. That's all indoor air pollution also. And I got to admit, that was my soft spot that I loved. I used to love candles. I used to love scented oil. I used to bring potpourri in my house. I did everything because I thought that my house was supposed to smell nice. And what I learned over the past few years, when I eliminated everything from my life, I started to believe, and I will tell you why this is incorrect, but I did start to believe that a house shouldn't have a smell. Shouldn't have any smell. Therefore, so if you're using the right kinds of cleaners, then your house doesn't have a smell, and then you don't have any toxic chemicals in there. But I've since changed that because, and this is one of the most exciting things that we're going to be able to share with you next week. I changed that thought because if you have three choices when you're cleaning or when you're trying to get your house clean. You know, and we can also discuss the meaning of clean, but I won't get into that in this hangout. But so you have three choices. You can use toxic, heavy-duty, hazardous chemicals and get all the germs out. And what that does is it gets all the germs out, but it can harm your health in the process. Okay, or you can use chemical-free cleaners that are out there, and there are some choices for chemical-free cleaners where, you know, your house, they don't have any fragrances, they don't have any smell, they don't have anything, but they sort of do the job. They don't do anything for your health. They don't harm you, and they don't improve your health either. And then you have another choice that you can use certain types of natural substances that actually add to your health, that increase your vitality, increase your energy, and make you healthier, improve your immune system. And that's where I'm going now. That, you know, I had my few years of completely no chemicals and no real benefit either. And now I am moving into methods that are much more natural and that do support my health. Okay, so back to cleaning and back to fragrances. Candles are toxic for two reasons. Candles have fragrances in them, which are just a chemical soup of various toxins. But chemicals also have smoke. And if you light anything on fire in your house, you're creating smoke. And smoke is toxic. I don't care if you take a spinach leaf or something else that's really healthy, a superfood, and you set it on fire, it's going to burn and it's going to create hazardous combustion products.
Don't burn the spinach. Don't burn the spinach.
Don't burn the spinach. Spinach is the first healthy thing that popped into my head. So anyway, the point is smoke is toxic. And so even if you are burning healthy soy candles or other types of candles made out of things that are healthy, it's perfectly okay to have them sitting in your house and looking pretty. But as soon as you light them up, you're creating smoke and you're polluting your home. And fragrances are seriously chemical soup, and there are no regulations that say, you know, what's allowed to be in fragrances. They're often proprietary, so we don't even have any idea what's in them. But fragrances generally are just a mess of synthetic smells that are not healthy in any way.
We have one comment here I wanted to share from Debbie Lopez. She says, "This is so true. I have severe asthma and chemical cleaners have caused me respiratory infections in the past." And I'm sure Debbie has remediated those and corrected them, but she's felt the health challenges of these chemicals and how they've caused problems in the past. So thank you, Debbie, for that comment.
And I'm sure that Debbie can relate to this. Oh, okay.
We have one more comment here. Ellen Martino says, "I just cracked my window." All right, Ellen, get some circulation in your home.
Yes, very, very important. And one thing I can also share with you, there's probably many people out there who are saying, well, you know, when I go to the supermarket and I walk down the aisles in the supermarket, I don't have any problems. You know, there are some of us who I have to walk the perimeter of the grocery store. I can't go down the grocery aisle or the laundry aisle. That's the one that's the worst. Or the you know, the personal care products aisle, because there's so many fragrances and they're all in these plastic bottles, which are, the chemicals are seeping out of them, and I get instant headaches and instant problems, but I never used to. And that's the interesting thing, is that, you know, I used to think, oh, well, it's not bothering me, so I must be okay. But see, I didn't realize it. My body just, I thought that was normal, and I got used to it. And once I detoxed and stopped using those things, I can't be around them anymore. You know, if I'm sitting in a waiting room and somebody walks in and they have marinated themselves in perfume, I have to leave. I cannot stay in the room with those artificial fragrances. So that's something that you need to just take inventory. You know, this week is just designed for you to go through your house and find these things that I'm talking about and make note of where you need to make some changes. I can't hear you, Arttemis. Are you muted?
Yeah, let's talk about some. Thank you. I just unmuted. Some of the solutions with off-gassing your home is ventilation, putting in hardwood floors, tile, getting throw rugs. Also, another solution I wanted to mention is plants, like common everyday household plants bought from healthy greenhouses digest formaldehyde, digest benzenes. They actually consume these toxins. So just adding plants to your homes is another solution. And then for your kitchen and bathroom, get clean, get green, and buy non-toxic cleaning products. And we're going to, in next week's Hangout, October 5th, we're going to share with you our #1 favorite non-toxic cleaning product that, like you said, adds value to your life. It adds vitality and oxygen and energy. And for right now, this is about awareness, and this is about some simple, cost-effective solutions: ventilation, getting some plants. And now let's jump into kitchen filters and why we use shower filters and kitchen filters in our home, really no matter what our water stream is. And so, Donna, I'm going to talk a little bit about the filters and the filtration technology, and I want you to talk about like city versus well water first, and then I also want you to share, municipal water is not the bane of our society. There are modern industrial evolution of our city water, and there's a reason why they have to put chloramines and bromine type chemicals in the city water. So explain to us first the difference, and then why we have chlorine in our city water.
Okay, well, I've probably worked in 300 chemical water treatment plants, and so I definitely have a lot of experience as far as what is put in the water. The primary difference between having your own well and having city water is that the chemicals that are added to your water by the water company is what you end up being exposed to if you have public water or city water. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, and you can go on various websites like EPA.org or EPA.gov and look up various things about clean, safe drinking water. And the issue is that, years ago when everybody had their own well, wells could get contaminated, wells could have bacteria in them. There could be nitrates and other things in the water that goes in the groundwater, and then you pull it up with your well, and you really have no idea what you're bringing into your house. And so people believed that was bad, and they also believed that it was great if once we started building big cities and everything that we didn't have room for everybody to have their own well. And so we got public water treatment systems, and their job was to get the water out of the ground or out of the surface water or wherever they were getting it, purify it, and send it through pipes to our houses. So all we have to do is open up the faucet, and we get clean, safe, pure water. So the difference is based on the definition of safe. Because if you define safe as being no bacteria, then the drinking water we get from the public water facilities is safe. Okay, they definitely do a good job of getting the bacteria out, and we want that because bacteria can make you sick immediately. Okay, those are the effects that you see right away. So if the water is contaminated with bacteria and parasites and other things, that's bad. So we need the water company to purify the water in that respect. The problem is that once it gets to our house, there's excess chlorine, there's excess of other chemicals that they use for that disinfection, and that excess is what we don't want in our water. So that's the reason it's important. Once the water gets to our house, we need to purify it further. We need to take out the excess of the chlorine, the excess fluoride, the other things that are put into our water that will hurt us over the long term. These are chemicals that would cause cancer and inflammation and other types of diseases that the water company really doesn't pay attention to. And it's not because they're mean or they want to kill us or anything. It's just that it's very hard to track that because this is long-term types of illnesses, and they need to have a handle on the instantaneous types of things like bacteria and fungus. So once the water gets to our house, it's important that we clean it up. If you have well water, it's important to clean that up because, like I said, there's agricultural chemicals that are seeping into the groundwater. There's runoff from industrial facilities. There's all kinds of things seeping into the groundwater. And if you pull your water right out of the ground, you need to clean it up as well. So those are the two reasons why we would need filtration.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about water filtration because this is a very confusing subject, and I am an expert on both water filtration and water revitalization. When I was working at the Tree of Life with Dr. Gabriel Cousins, I invested an entire year studying just water, and I read about 8 books on the natural state of water, the hydrological cycle, water filtration, and water revitalization. And so I've learned a lot about water over the past 15 years. And one of the first things people can do is get a kitchen filter and a shower filter. But there's so many choices online that one of the things we choose to share with our viewers today and all of our students is we want to give you some of the best and also economical solutions for your water filtration. So before we get into kitchen filtration, let's talk about shower filtration, because we think to filter our drinking water, but a lot of us don't think to filter the water we bathe in. In our scientific research, this has been documented that 1 10-minute hot shower, you can absorb up to 8 to 10 cups of toxic tap water into your body in 1 10-minute hot shower. That is because heat expands the pores. Your skin is a permeable membrane. It breathes, and as you're showering in city water, and there's chloramines, and there's bromines, and there's heavy metals, and there's rust, and there's other things I won't mention in city water, all of that could be entering the lymphatic stream and the bloodstream and bioaccumulating in the body. And so it's really important to get a shower filter. And not all shower filters are created equal, depending on their filtration media, or how much media they put in the filter before that water touches your skin. So one of our favorite sources of shower filtration is a company called Aquasana. And we're going to post a link to the Aquasana shower filter underneath this video. The Aquasana filter filters about 90% or more of the common contaminants like chloramines, heavy metals, and rust out of your shower water. Now, shower filters are not as efficient as a really high-quality reverse osmosis system. I want to go ahead and put that out there, that most shower filters are getting, the ones from Aquasana, the ones that have enough media in them, they're going to get 90% or more, and that's actually been lab tested by Aquasana. All of their filters go through testing, and they can actually guarantee. So keep in mind that shower filters are very efficient, and remember, the solution to pollution is dilution. And so these high-quality shower filters from Aquasana are diluting so much and purifying so much of that shower water that it's lessening the toxic load significantly. And one thing Crystal and I have noticed, I know you've noticed this too, Donna, when you have a shower filter, your skin is softer, your hair is richer and healthier, and you just feel more energized coming out of the shower. It's a wonderful technology. And we travel with our shower filter. That's how much of a hippie we are. We take our shower filter with us in our suitcase, and we just install it in the hotel and use it because it's that wonderful. It's that much of a benefit, and it's easy to travel with. So get a shower filter from Aquasana. Look for the link right below this video. And if you have friends and families you want to give, like, this is a good filter. Spas all over the world use Aquasana shower filters because their filtration media is large enough. Also, the filter is really easy to replace every 6 months. Now, let's get into kitchen filters. There's 2 basic types of kitchen filtration, and there's the one you screw into your faucet, and then there's the one you install under the sink, and then there's a third type, which is like your Brita pitcher or your Pure pitcher. And so your cheapest choice would be a Brita filter or a Pure filter, but that's not your highest choice, because if you buy a Brita or Pure filter, you're getting maybe 1 to 2 to 4 stages of filtration, and it's all one filtration media. And really the best kitchen filtration is going to have anywhere from 4 to 5 stages of filtration. And the reason we want to use multiple stage filtration technologies like reverse osmosis is because one filtration media can get contaminated very quickly. And so when the water's going through multiple stages of filtration, even if that first stage gets contaminated, The second stage is the backup. And then the third stage is the third backup. And then the fourth stage is the fourth backup. And so there can be a lot of different things flowing through your city water stream that multiple stage filtration is going to catch versus just your pure and Brita filter. Now, that being said, get what you can afford right away. Drink, if all you can get is the pure water filter, the little pitcher system, get that and start using that. And then when you're ready to upgrade, the best filtration technology and the most energy efficient filtration technology for your kitchen is reverse osmosis. And reverse osmosis are multiple stage filtration systems. Some are 4-stage, some are 5-stage, some are 6, 7, and 8-stage filtrations. And we're going to share with you 2 sources of reverse osmosis that we really like. And the first source is the APEC RO system, and it's a 5-stage reverse osmosis filtration media that gets 99.9% of all contaminants found in city water out of your water. So this APEC system, they're laboratory tested, and when you get the system shipped to your door, it is state-of-the-art reverse osmosis that has been lab tested for 12 hours before you even use it. Now, it is more of an investment. It's about $300 to $400 depending on your bells and whistles, and yet the reverse osmosis filtration systems have a pre-sediment filter, 2 carbon block filters, and then an RO filter and a polisher. So it's a 5-stage filtration system. And the filters there are 3 filters that you replace once a year, and then there are 2 more filters that you replace every 2 years. And so it's much more economical and powerful for water filtration. And so the first link we're posting underneath this video is for the APEC 5-stage RO system, the RO90. And then Donna just introduced me to another technology, the AquaLeave water filtration system. And the AquaLeave technology goes through multiple stages RO, and it adds beneficial minerals, raises the pH, and vortexes the water. And so mineral ions and vortexing naturally energize and structure the water. And so this AquaLeave system is a new technology. It's a super conscious company, and they've created multiple stages of water revitalization with water filtration. And so if you're using city water, filter your kitchen, filter your shower, find what works best for you. These 3 websites underneath this video are really the best sources that we've found for water filtration, and also the most economical too. So look at wherever you're at in your life. I want to share with our audience that you can upgrade from where you're at. Crystal and I have been living this healthy, chemical-free lifestyle for over 10 years. Donna, how many years have you been living chemical-free?
Oh, let's say 15.
15 years. Yeah, so we have done all of this step by step, and I want to really encourage a step-by-step evolution and upgrade for everyone watching. It's like you can't do it all at once. Yet you can get a shower filter, or you can upgrade your kitchen filter. And you just want to do this step by step. And as you're rinsing your produce, this is another thing with kitchen filters. It's like, yeah, your drinking water, the water you make your coffee and tea with, that needs to be filtered. But what about washing your fruits and vegetables? Don't wash your fruits and vegetables in chlorinated water. Use your kitchen filter and pour the water in a bowl and just throw your vegetables in a bowl of filtered water. Maybe add some hydrogen peroxide or a little bit of grapefruit seed extract to clean your vegetables and fruits, and then just rinse them in filtered water, and they're going to come back to life. When you're washing your fruits and vegetables or soaking and sprouting in chlorinated water, guess what? They're soaking up those chemicals, and then you're eating those chemicals. And so another reason to get a high volume water filtration system in your kitchen, like an RO system, wash your fruits and vegetables in filtered water. And then you can also soak and rinse them in a bowl of filtered water. If you don't have a high flow system, you can just pour it in a bowl, throw your fruits and vegetables in that bowl, and let them just kind of rinse and wash in that bowl. So, Donna, is there anything else you'd like to add about water?
Well, yes, there's a couple of things. You mentioned very quickly hydrogen peroxide, and I'm sure that some of the people here would say, wow, isn't that a chemical? And so I do want to clarify that. I am echoing a little bit. Could you turn your volume down again? I'm sorry. Okay, so hydrogen peroxide is one of the chemicals that we say is non-hazardous, but only if you're using food grade hydrogen peroxide. And that's very, very important, because if you just go to the drugstore and get regular hydrogen peroxide, it has an inhibitor in there, and that inhibitor is not something you want to be ingesting. So let's make that clear. The other thing that I want to point out, you can see here that I've been drinking my green smoothie while we've been talking, and I also have my water bottle, my structured water bottle. And the one thing you'll notice about these two things is they are glass. And even more important, my straw. I love to drink out of a straw, and but I will not drink out of a plastic straw. I will drink out of a glass straw. And I do that because I try to avoid plastics in my life. So the whole time that we've been talking about water filtration, water purification, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, well, what about bottled water? And, you know, I use bottled water as a last resort. If I'm traveling and I can't get water, I know it's worse to be dehydrated than to, you know, have plastic. And again, focusing on the things I do every day. But I try at every day, I try to make sure that I'm eliminating plastics, I'm drinking out of glass, I'm cooking in glass, especially if you're going to microwave. We won't discuss microwaves and their safety, but if you're going to microwave,
let's not talk about microwaves. That's a whole other hangout. Okay. We
won't talk about microwave safety, but if you're going to microwave, please, please, please put your food in the glass and not in plastic containers. That's just bad, because plastics are full of these hazardous chemicals. And then I want to give you one more free way to keep the toxins out of your house. Stop wearing your shoes in the house, okay? Or if you have to wear shoes in the house, then you have a house pair of shoes and you have all your outside pairs of shoes, because I know I said the air is cleaner outside than it is inside, but when we go outside and we go to the Wawa, well, that's a convenience store, I should say, because not everybody's in Pennsylvania here. When you go to the convenience store, you go to the supermarket, you go to the doctor's office, you visit people in the hospital, you go take your car to be repaired, you're walking in this stuff all the time, and this stuff is collecting on the bottoms of your shoes, and when you walk in your house, you're tracking it all in. And so an absolute freebie here is stop wearing your shoes in the house, and you will decrease the level of toxins quite a bit.
That is a great tip, Donna. That's something so simple. Open your windows, get some plants, stop wearing your shoes in your house. You know, just do that. Now, it's 11:06. I want to honor people's time. So stay tuned for our next hangout. And don't worry, we're going to answer your questions. We're going to get to your questions very soon. Stay tuned. About a week from today, October 5th, we're going to be presenting nature's most powerful solution for cleaning your carpet, your furniture, your air, and your homes. And we're going to share with you more of our tips and solutions for getting a clean and chemical-free home and living a chem-conscious lifestyle with Arttemis and Donna. And that's October 5th at 1 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, and then 12 p.m. Mountain. Now, if this announcement is going to go out a little bit later today. If you can't make the Hangout live, don't worry. It's going to be recorded, and you can watch it. So if you just click yes or maybe, Google is going to send you the recording, and you're going to get that video to watch at your leisure. You don't want to miss this Hangout, because it is a really powerful, presenting some powerful solutions for you to really get an even healthier, more harmonious, more radiantly healthy home. Your home is your sanctuary. Your home, as you start making these upgrades, becomes more like a sanctuary and even a healing home. And so these solutions we're presenting next October 5th, next Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time, they're really about turning your home into a sanctuary, into a garden, into a radiant, oxygen-filled, even healthier, happier, more radiant home. And so we have some questions. I'm going to pull up a question now, Donna. This question is from Diana Harrison. Are there certain plants that help air quality more than others? This is fabulous information. Thank you, Diana. Yes, there are certain plants And I've studied this a lot, so I'll take this question, Donna, because I love plants. I love herbs. 2 years in Chinese medicine, and I was like, hey, what about the house plants? And so there are some key plants you can study and you can purchase. And before I talk about what plants to buy, go to an organic greenhouse. Don't go to Lowe's and Home Depot. Those plants are full of chemical fertilizers. Go buy some really good, clean and green plants. But if all you have is Lowe's Depot or Home, then definitely buy your plants there. My wife is laughing at me. Lowe's or Home Depot? Lowe's or Home Depot? So I'm going to slow down a little bit. So watch me blush. So ivies, green ivies. The more green, the more surface area, the more detoxification and oxygenation. Remember, plants produce oxygen. Oxygen filters the air. So more plants in your home, in your bedroom, equal more oxygen. And so there are plants like ivies, like there are plants palm plants, ferns. Ferns are some of the most powerful cleaners of the air. And you can hang ferns from the ceiling in your kitchen. Ficus trees and fig trees in your home. They're tall standing trees. They're a little more challenging to work with because they need certain amounts of filtration in the soil and watering. But you can put a ficus tree or a fig tree, and it's not a typical fig tree. It's like a fig leaf tree in your kitchen. There's another very special plant I want to mention called a sansevieria. It's also known as snake plant or mother-in-law's tongue. Now, you'll be really interested in this, Donna, because mother-in-law's tongue, or its Latin name is sansevieria, is one of the few plants that produce oxygen at night. And so all plants, I think Donna just sparked up. She's like, ooh.
I want to get one of those.
Yeah, so it's called mother-in-law's tongue or snake plant, but the Latin name is sansevieria. And this plant, we have 2 of these in our bedroom. And so the sansevieria plant produces oxygen at night. Most plants wind down as the sun sets and they rest. Plants actually kind of go to sleep a little bit by decreasing oxygen saturation, and when the light returns, because oxygen is a product of photosynthesis, chlorophyll production, so when the sun comes up, the plants wake up and produce more oxygens. The mother-in-law's tongue or snake plants actually produce oxygen while you sleep, and so get 1 or 2 of these snake plants or sansevieria plants and put them in your bedroom. And the cool thing about these plants is you almost can't kill them. Like if you don't have a green thumb, these plants are good for you because they're low light, low water plants. They're desert plants and they will survive. I mean, seriously, a snake plant or a mother-in-law's tongue can survive 8 months without water. They are hardy, low light, low water plants. Now that being said, I still water my plants once a week. And with plants, what you want to do is you want to put your finger in the soil, and if it's dry about 2 inches down, water it all the way, and don't water it again until the soil gets dry. If you overwater your plants, you starve them of oxygen at the root level. And so check out the snake plants or the mother-in-law's tongue. They're a little more tricky to find, and they're great for bedrooms. Next question. Debbie Lopez says, would you recommend an air purifier? Some of us are allergic to the molds and pollen that are outdoors. My doctor recommended keeping the windows closed at night. Any recommendations? And so, Debbie, that's a great question. Stay tuned for next week where we're going to talk more about the solutions to air purification and our most powerful form of air purification in nature. And regarding your doctor's comment about closing your windows, Donna, what would you say to that?
Well, without saying anything bad about doctors, I know that they have your best interest at mind, and the comment probably came because if something is bothering you from the outside, then keep it out. You know, there's ways to filter the air that you bring into your house. Like I said, you can get a whole house filter, and you can bring fresh air into your house through a filter. And that might be a solution if opening the windows really does cause you symptoms. But I would recommend trying different windows, open different windows, different parts of the house, and try to see if there's a way that you can bring fresh air in without bringing the pollen and the things that do bother you. And monitor your symptoms, because I think fresh air is really, really important. but I know that if you're suffering from allergies and you can't breathe, and that fresh air is making that worse, then obviously you have to find another solution. So, I would say try it. Prove it to yourself that it is the fresh air coming in that's causing your symptoms, and then if it is, figure out a way to bring fresh air into the house with a whole house fan that blows the air through a filter and traps those contaminants.
Thanks, Donna. Keep in mind, just ventilation is a good thing. Particularly early in the morning is the best time to ventilate, because even if you do live in a city, that's when the pollution is least in the environment. And so, if you're an outdoor exerciser, you want to exercise right before sunrise instead of at the night, because pollution is concentrated more in the evening than in the morning. So the best time to ventilate is in the morning. And that being said, like Donna said, the air outside, even if you live in a city, can be 10 to 20 times cleaner than the air inside your house. So I say ventilate, just from that principle.
Yeah.
I say ventilate, and there was a great spiritual teacher named Wallace Wattles, and he talked about keeping your window cracked at night and breathing in fresh air back in the 1920s. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to start doing that. And I personally noticed a big improvement in my sleep quality having the windows cracked. Really, really, and having plants in my bedroom as well. So these are just little tweaks you can make. Next question?
Can I add something to that?
Yes,
real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
Also, what we've seen in our family, at least as far as our allergies are concerned, is that the more we detox and the more we support our immune system, the less allergies we have. So once we've addressed some of that inflammation that has already been caused by the allergens, we tend to be less sensitive to them because we're getting healthier. So that's another path to explore.
Awesome. Okay, so we have one more question from Ellen Martino, who is a friend of ours here in the Austin community, and Ellen is a super conscious coach, really knowledgeable. And she says, does reverse osmosis remove all the minerals too? I love the Kishu charcoal filters because I can use it in a glass pitcher. No yucky plastic touching my water. Great question, Ellen. Yes, reverse osmosis does remove a large portion of the minerals, but there still is trace minerals in the water, but it's a very small amount. So we like using liquid ionic mineral supplements from Omega Organics or Vital Earth Minerals. And so these are our two favorite mineral companies because they're fulvic acid-based minerals, and we add Mother Earth's minerals back to our water. Most of the minerals you're getting in tap water and even in filtered water are dead earth rock minerals. They're not in an ionic electrical state. And for minerals to be maximum effectiveness, to have therapeutic response in the cells, they need to have an ionic charge and be the right particle size. And so a lot of the minerals found in city water and well water are not ionic, and they're not the proper particle size. So it is generally good to filter out these minerals and then replace it with Mother Earth's minerals in the form of fulvic acid minerals. Now that being said, if you are drinking filtered water with minerals, it's not causing you health challenges. It's just not your highest choice. Regarding the plastic question, this is a great question. I've done a lot of research this with RO systems. Reverse osmosis system, the water does touch some plastic, but it's a very special high-density plastic that is non-toxic in the sense that the water is going through these plastic mediums being filtered, and then all RO systems have a bladder. The bladder is a 100% food-grade silicone, and so the bladder is not plastic. The water being stored for drinking is stored in a non-toxic silicone bladder that is food grade. And so when that water leaves the bladder and enters your cup or your bowl or your teapot, it is 99.9% pure, free of plastic contaminants. And so using a good 5-stage RO system with a properly designed bladder that's 100% food grade silicone is very clean and safe, even from plastic. And also the PEX tubing that's used in RO systems through the work of Dr. Hulda Clark, who studied a lot of this stuff back in the 80s, she found that that particular type of tubing, known as PEX, is one of the most non-toxic water transportation systems she ever researched. She was a scientist just like Donna. She actually did the lab test in the water, and that PEX tubing they used in RO systems is some of the safest building materials she ever researched. Because she studied dozens of different plastics and copper pipes, and she noticed that excess of copper caused cancer, but this PEX tubing was like the way to go with water transport in the house. And so a lot of RO systems use PEX tubing, and it is a safe type of tubing for transportation of water. And there's upgrades from there, but we don't have time to talk about it in this Hangout. We have another question back to back. Diana Harrison asks, can you clean veggies with a vinegar soak, or is vinegar bad for cleaning? Yes, you can use apple cider. Oh, and the next question is Stephanie Koseska says, Diana, my mom definitely recommends cleaning vegetables with vinegar, and especially if the veggies are not organic. I hear this one a lot. So thank you, Stephanie, for answering that question. So yes, you can clean your vegetables with vinegar. It's important to buy organic vinegars and apple cider vinegars with the mother, our favorite vinegar, because it has more enzymes and also has probiotics and prebiotics naturally occurring in it. And so apple cider vinegar is a great, organic apple cider vinegar is a great choice. Any other questions?
I'd like to hear Donna talk about that too.
Okay, so Donna, unmute yourself and let us know about the vinegar equation.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see the question. Could you repeat it?
Oh, your daughter jumped in and chimed in. Yeah, my mom definitely recommends using vinegar, and especially if you're washing non-organic fruits and vegetables.
Yes, so I definitely recommend using vinegar and water. I like to dilute it down and use that for vegetables. But sometimes fruit, if I wash my fruit in vinegar, it gives it like a vinegary taste, and maybe you don't want to have a vinegary taste with your fruit. So I have the best solution. Every morning I juice one lemon and drink it with water for my own detoxification and my own immune system. And so I save those lemon peels and I soak them in apple cider vinegar. And I just keep putting the lemon peels every day into my jar and filling up with vinegar. And then after about 2 weeks or so, all the vinegar extracts all the oil from the lemon peels. And it makes this beautiful lemon-scented cleaner that really the vinegar smell kind of goes away. And then it's perfect for cleaning countertops and washing vegetables.
That is awesome. So I think it's time to wrap things up. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. And we have so much information, so much passion about living a chemical-free home. And stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to share with you nature's most powerful solution for not only living chemical-free, transforming and detoxifying your air, your home, your floors, your countertops, and your body. And so that Hangout's going to air October 5th at 1. That Hangout's going to air, excuse me, now here I am. That Hangout's going to air October 5th at 1 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 12 p.m. Mountain Time. So thank you, everybody, for watching today. Thank you, Donna. Go ahead and say goodbye, Donna.
Bye-bye. See you next week.
Yeah, we'll see all of you next week. Please like this video, share this video with your friends and family. Share this information, because more of us need to know this material. We need to become lighthouses of a healthy home. Your home is your sanctuary, and you can start empowering your friends and family with this information and helping them clean up their homes. All of this has a domino effect in our life. The more we buy non-toxic cleaners and request non-toxic homes, the more we change the industry. And so our dollars are votes for a cleaner home, a cleaner environment, and a cleaner planet. And so next week, October 5th, we're going to share with you some more solutions. We thank you for watching, and we will see you in about a week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.